Coming up on your Ignite News, we visit a rodeo. We find out about Mohawk's policy about laptops in the classroom. And it's teacher feedback time. Have you filled out your survey? All that and more coming up on your Ignite News.
Good morning and welcome to Ignite News for Wednesday, March 27th. I'm Casey Wren.
And I'm Eric Carpenter. Here's what's making news. The union representing Ontario Public Elementary teachers has lifted the ban on voluntary or extracurricular activities. Union President Sam Hammond says the ban is being lifted in light of progress made in talks with the government, which are set to continue. Teachers withdrew from extracurriculars to protest legislation used to force them into contracts, which also banned them from striking.
Today, more and more students are using laptops during classroom lectures. I had a chance to find out the details on how distracting they can be in the classroom. That students who multitask on their laptops during lectures do not absorb as much information. Could there be stricter laptop restrictions in Mohawk as a result? Professor Peter Morin said there's one in place now, and it's up to professors to enforce it.
We do have policies in effect here at Mohawk. It's up to the instructor to determine what's appropriate use of technology, and if the instructor feels that the smartphone or the laptop or the use of that technology is impeding the learning environment, it's up to them to say, you can't do that. You put your laptop away, you put your smartphone away.
Distractions aren't a new thing in learning environments, but Cheryl Jensen explained that she thought nowadays there are more opportunities to be distracted.
Things are wide open for all of us. I mean, I'm in the same position. You know, I can very easily get distracted in a meeting, and so I have to make sure that I'm not being distracted by my BlackBerry buzzing or other things. You know, it's really up to us to have the discipline to make sure that we're staying on task.
With this new study, perhaps students will be a little more mindful of how they spend their lecture time. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Casey Wren.
The MSA Gives Back campaign has found a winner. Last night, the top 12 contestants got up on stage to give the final presentations of their ideas to a panel of judges. This includes the president of Mohawk College, Rob McIsaac. There were many passionate ideas ranging from new music facilities to new toilet paper. The winner in the end was Candace Sharp with her ideas of conversions of the Health East Lounge to silent study rooms.
The student feedback on teaching survey is already underway. Alicia Gallant is up in the newsroom and tells us more. Alicia, this survey is a big deal around campus. Why is it so important?
Well, Casey, through my discussion with professors, I found that a lot of them here at Mohawk take this seriously. So I went around campus to see not only why teachers want the feedback, but if students are willing to take the time to give it. Many students have hectic schedules, and the last thing that some may want to do is complete another survey. The benefits and the purpose of the student feedback surveys are often lost in all the craziness of tests, assignments, and exams. Vice President of Academics Cheryl Jensen sends out invitations every year for students to complete their customized surveys. She is a strong believer in the impact the feedback has on future teaching methods.
The relationship between our teachers and our students is so special, and I'll tell you that the feedback that we get is so positive. I think it's really nice and rewarding for our teachers to hear what a good job they've done with their students over the term.
Sean Isles is a sociology and environmental sustainability professor at Mohawk, and he appreciates the feedback that he has received during his career.
Teaching is a learning experience, just like anything else, right? So you're not just instantly good at it. And there's some times when, you know, you might be off or teaching something new, especially with online education.
Many students have mixed feelings about the survey and whether or not it's an effective tool.
I did it last semester. I didn't do it this semester because I'm absent-minded.
I think a lot of teachers know what you think, yes, but in terms of actually changing what they do, probably not.
I think it's a great tool, and I think all the students should be doing it.
Sean Isles ensures that teachers do take the feedback into consideration.
It's important for students to take seriously, and I think that a lot of students need to understand that we do see the feedback and we do see their comments.
Students can log on to Mocomotion using their smartphone, their tablet, or their laptops in order to complete the survey. The deadline has been extended to April 1st in order to give students more time. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Alicia Gallant.
We asked you, Mohawk, who your favorite teacher is.
I would say Sonia Matthews, and maybe because she teaches very well and she's very kind, and she teaches, if you have any problems, she always helps you.
I think Mr. Malloy is my favorite professor. We're learning about cars and automotive, and he's been around as long as they've been making cars, so he knows everything there is to know.
It would have to be Ron Capibianco. He's in the science department, and he's just an overall really great teacher, and he's time for everybody. If you ask a question, he'll spend all day with you until you get it, so he's a really great teacher.
Maria Caddick, she's a ECE professor, and she really engages the class. She gets you going, keeps you smiling. She's a really great professor.
My favorite professor would have to be John Holloway. He is my ITIL teacher for this semester. Unfortunately enough, he went down with illness earlier this year, but his dedication to the students and work outside of class and in class has just been amazing in my time here at the school.
There were some bumpy rides in Ancaster this weekend. Ignite News reporter Teresa Friesen has the story.
The Ontario Finals Rodeo rode its way onto the Ancaster Fairgrounds this weekend as rodeo fans got their fill of bulls, broncs, and barrels. Barrel racer Mandy Peidel is a rookie on the circuit this year.
I've been barrel racing for almost my whole life, ever since I was little, but I just got into rodeo this year.
Bull rider Nick Gonzalez has been riding bulls since he was 15.
It's really hard to explain what it's like to be on the back of a bull, and when you hear that buzzer go, I mean, you feel like the king.
The bull riders will be riding bulls like these that can weigh from 1,400 to 2,000 pounds.
Competitors say the adrenaline rush is one of their favorite parts of competing.
The adrenaline rush. It's crazy when you're running up that chute. You get like an amazing feeling.
An awesome adrenaline rush, and I just love doing it. I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
Joe Scully is the Ontario Rodeo Association president and rodeo announcer. He says the rodeo keeps us in tune with our agricultural roots.
Rodeo is a great celebration of like our agricultural roots. Like the sport's been around since the 1800s, and as the world moves away from an agricultural climate and more into an urbanized like workplace and living space, we really need events like rodeo, horse racing to really keep in tune with, you know, Mother Nature and farmers. And with rodeo, it's got great family values. It's a family sport. You have fathers, daughters, sons competing together against each other, with each other, traveling with each other. So we really have we have a message of family, history, and great nostalgia with our sport.
The crowd couldn't get enough of the weekend's events, and some participants just didn't want to go home. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Teresa Friesen.
Now let's take a look at what's coming up in weather, entertainment, and sports.
Hello, I'm Noah Salo. Coming up on weather, it's going to be partly cloudy. This and more in your Ignite News weather forecast.
I'm Greg Rosser. Coming up in entertainment, the Tivoli Theater downtown closes a deal with its new owners. Pianist Daryl Davis goes beyond the music, and you can visit your favorite locale from the hit show Breaking Bad.
I'm Dimitri Pertikaris, and coming up in sports, it was a pretty busy night in the NHL. 6 of 7 Canadian teams were in action, and aside from being from the same city, what do the LA Kings and LA Galaxy have in common? I'll tell you coming up in sports.
Thanks, guys. Well, it's a partly cloudy kind of day. In Hamilton, it's 0 degrees. Toronto is at 1 degree and also partly cloudy. Moving over to Niagara Falls, it's also partly cloudy and 2 degrees. In London, it's just cloudy and 0 degrees. Back over to Windsor, it's, you guessed it, partly cloudy and 0 degrees. Taking a look at the next 24 hours in Hamilton, In the evening, it will be cloudy with a 30% chance of showers and a temperature of -1. Overnight, we get a 60% chance of flurries and will stay -1. However, tomorrow morning, we'll get up to 6 degrees, but with a 60% chance of flurries early in the morning. Taking a look at the 5-day forecast, tomorrow it will still be partly cloudy with a high of 6 and a low of -1. Friday is going to be cloudy, high of 6 and a low of -3. Finally, on Saturday, we'll get some sun with a high of 8 and a low of -5. On Sunday, we'll be back to cloudy and a chance of showers with a high of 6 and a low of 0. Monday is going to be partly cloudy with a high of 4 and a low of -2. And that's all for your weather. Let's check in with Greg for your entertainment update.
Thanks, Noah. One of Hamilton's more prestigious heritage properties, the Tivoli Theatre, was sold after a much-rumored sale closed on Monday. The deal was made with the Canadian Ballet Youth Ensemble and a local developer, Dominic Diamante. The theatre was purchased with the objective of restoring the property to its original condition. Inspirational author and activist Daryl Davis was a guest lecturer at this year's Gandhi Peace Festival. Ignite News reporter Noah Salo has the story.
More than just a great piano player, he is also an anti-racism activist and author. Davis uses the nonviolent strategies of Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. to develop relationships of mutual respect with racist people.
I would say reach out and meet with racists. Meet with those people who you perceive to be racist. Find out why they're racist. What is it that they fear? What are their goals? Sit down and talk with them. And then in doing so again, they will give you the opportunity to explain your position. And that's how we build. Because when two people from opposite ends are talking, they are not fighting.
Davis befriended members of the KKK while writing a book about them. Several have since left the organization, giving Davis their robes. Hamilton Community Foundation President Terry Cook invited Davis to participate in the Mahatma Gandhi Lectures on Nonviolence during the annual Gandhi Peace Festival.
Daryl's life is a story of insight, of courage, of dialogue, and really epitomizes in many ways the things that Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Martin Luther King talked about, which was nonviolent resistance. And so his story, his book, his music are things that bind us together.
Daryl Davis shows us the spirit of Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. in his nonviolent conflict resolutions. Communication and friendship are the keys to changing hearts and minds. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Noah Salo.
If you've ever wanted to see where Walter White of Breaking Bad quarterbacks his drug trafficking operation, now you can. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, a fast food burrito chain has become an international tourist attraction thanks to the success of the hit show. Breaking Bad is shooting the finishing touches on its 5th season in Albuquerque, and the recent influx of tourism has generated a significant boost to the town's economy in turn. The Albuquerque Convention and Visitors Bureau has even created a website showcasing the show's more popular locales that you can visit. That's a wrap for your entertainment. Time to pass it over to Dimitri with sports.
Thanks, Greg. Kicking things off with some NHL scores last night. 6 of 7 Canadian teams were in action. In the East, the Toronto Maple Leafs took down the struggling Florida Panthers 3-2. Joffrey Lupul leading the way with 2 goals. The Pittsburgh Penguins shut out the Habs 1-0. Sidney Crosby with the lone goal for the Pens. The Winnipeg Jets continue their strong play, beating Southeast rival Carolina 4-1. Over in the Western Conference, Nikolai Havibulin picked up his 46th career shutout in a 3-0 win over the Blues. The Blackhawks shut down the Flames 2-0, and it took overtime and eventually a shootout for the Canucks to beat the Jackets 1-0. Max Lapierre with the winner there. Sticking with hockey, the defending Stanley Cup champion Los Angeles Kings made a visit to the White House to celebrate their first Stanley Cup championship with President Barack Obama. The LA Galaxy of the MLS were also present as they celebrated their championship from last season as well. Obama said he was impressed with both LA teams, but wishes his hometown Chicago teams were winning championships instead. That's all for me with sports. Let's pass it back to Eric and Casey.
And that's all your news for Wednesday, March 27th. For more news coverage, check out our website at ignitenews.ca. I'm Casey Wren.
And I'm Eric Carpenter. Thanks for watching, Mohawk.
environment.